Welcome back to Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and today is a review of, boom, World's Finest, number 3, the best ongoing comic book you can currently buy, in my personal, humble opinion.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, it is my opinion. It's my opinion because there is not a better book that is out there by the big two, or the big three if you want to count Image, that actually respects the characters that inhabit the book, quite like World's Finest. This is Mark Waid having a renaissance, for lack of a better word. I mean, this is an amazing book. So issue number 2 ended with a killer cliffhanger with Billy Batson and Batman in a really bad place. And there really wasn't much of a way to get around how bad of a situation it was. And I'm not going to spoil it, but suffice to say, Mark Waid is like, I don't know what he's done. I don't know where he has gotten this new wave of creativity, but this is a fantastic book. And, you know, I know a lot of people like to hear me complaining and bitching about stuff, and there is a lot to complain and bitch about, I promise, but not with this book. And so I have to sprinkle in a little sugar with that salt, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose it. I don't want to spoil the stuff that's in this book. I'm telling you, you should buy this book. The best way to get what we want is to buy things that we like. And I know it's fun to sit there and say DC sucks and everybody is being changed to reflect woke ideology, and I understand all of that. And they're disrespecting the characters, and they're disrespecting the history of the characters. If you can set all of that aside, and I know it's hard to do it, this is the kind of thing that you want to read. If you really like reading comic books about superheroes, about the best superheroes, this is the book. Quick synopsis, again, we have Batman and we have Superman, and they're kind of trapped in a bad place, but Superman figures out what's going on, and he gets them out of that jam, and he does it with a really great, inventive way. That's one of the things that I like about what Waid is doing here. Waid is expertly using the different powers in inventive ways that these characters have. I can't tell you how much fun it is, because he puts them into bad situations, and yet he uses a unique aspect of a given character to get them out of the bind. And it's brilliant writing. It's just brilliant. It really is. I'm not going to go on too long about this book, other than to tell you that I look forward to it. I look forward to it coming out every time it comes out. I make a special trip to the comic shop when I know that this book is available, because it's the best book out there. This is the first comic book in a very long time. In fact, this actually might be the very first comic book I have actually actively been interested in reading about. A lot of comics you read, or I read anyway, a lot of comics that I read, you know, when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. I read the issue, I do a recap of the issue if I'm doing a review of it, and I put the issue in a bag and board, and I put it in the box, and I forget about it. And I don't really revisit it until I come back. But with World's Finest, I'm actually thinking about the story when I'm not reading the comic book. I mean, I'll be walking along, and I'm like, you know, I wonder what they're going to do to get out of this particular jam that they're in here. And Waid has a wonderful way of doing it. Furthermore, the art is awesome. This is awesome art. So, you know, Mora, you know, I don't know what to say other than thank you. For example, Robin and Supergirl. I don't think I've seen a better artist rendering these characters in a very, very long time. I mean, look at how you have the S on her chest, but how it fits around her bust. You don't typically see that kind of detail. And look at her expression and her hair. This is Supergirl. We have a Supergirl in a movie, in a live action movie, that looks nothing like this. And that is a crime. It is a missed opportunity to portray a character that is beloved by millions of people. And Robin here is, it's like he's Nightwing, but just before Nightwing. It's almost like he's Nightwing wearing the Robin gear again. So this Dick Grayson is fantastic. You know, and the expressions are amazing. You know, we don't have any of these, you know, glossy eyes that we've been seeing a lot lately, especially in the Kal-El book, where our characters look like they're freaking weird, you know, manga lover boys. When you have characters drawn like this, it's easy just to go with the story. Very few books actually have the writing and the art working together in concert in such a way as World's Finest does. And the coloring is spectacular. Tamara Bonvillain is far and away right now my favorite colorist. She really is. She's new to me as far as my awareness of her. Look at the way Supergirl's cape is being rendered here. Tamara just has such a wonderful way of showing shading, and she doesn't just like drop a gradient in here. Notice how each one of these bends in the folds of her cape has its own kind of actual personality. Look at the way that the blue on Supergirl's arm here is rendered. So it's not just that we have the shading, because there's ink there indicating that there's shading and shadow, but she colors even the shadows. And this is actually one of my very favorite costumes for Supergirl. I know that depending on the book that she's in, her costume will change, but this is a beautiful, beautiful rendering of Supergirl, and the color just really makes it pop. I also want to talk about this mountain here. This is Mont Blanc, Switzerland, and this is way off in the distance, but you could easily just like drop 1, 2, 3 blues in here and be done with this. But Bonvillain, she's just, she sees color in a way that few people do. And she understands it like it's her child. I mean, that's how in touch she is with the way the hues work and play with each other. I'll tell you what, this is one of the most beautiful coloring jobs on this book series that I have ever seen. It's just amazing work. And if you're not reading the book, you're missing out. I'm telling you right now, this is the best comic book you can buy right now, period. It's like when you go see a movie and you're kind of moderately interested in it because it might have an actor that you might like or an actress that you might like. And then you go in and then it's a revelation. The movie is just something so far beyond your wildest imagination as to how awesome it could be. That's what's happening to me with World's Finest. I can't tell you how good a book this is. As much as Superman Son of Kal-El sucks ass, this book is the inverse. This is like the greatest book ever made in comparison to Kal-El. That's the bottom line. Lots of different cameos, lots of different characters popping up that you don't expect, lots of different things happening that you don't expect. You got the Doom Patrol in this one again, and you have Hal Jordan showing up in this one again. I've gone on a lot about the state of comics, and I've gone on a lot about how comics are in such a bad situation as far as the health of the industry and the kind of stuff that's being put out. You get smacked in the face all day long with retcons of characters, with people cramming their politics down your throat, with people telling you that you're an istophobe if you don't like the way that they're going with the character, and you say, hey, maybe you should stick to the roots of the character. This makes you a bad person. Because currently, a lot of people that are in professional workforce positions are people that have basically been turned into ideologues in college, and they're more concerned with getting pats on the back and social media likes than they are with actually doing their job correctly. So whether it's social media, whether it's tech, whether it's any other job that you might be involved in, or whether it's actually comic books, you know, this thing has kind of like, this whole problem has creeped into just about every aspect of culture. But this, even though it's written by Mark Waid, I know, even though it's written by Mark Waid, this is a shining beacon of what things can be if people just set aside their personal, political, social diatribes and just put out the best work that they can possibly put out that does the job that they've been asked to do. That's what this is. Enough of the speechifying from me. Batman Superman, World's Finest, is in fact the finest comic book that you can buy presently. I highly recommend that you go out and buy it. It's 5 stars. Every single successive issue gets better and better and better. And I'll tell you what, if the next issue turns into Wokathon or turns into some kind of stupid bullshit, I will let you know. And I will rain an unholy kind of venom on that book if that's the case. But until that point, I'm going to tell you, this is a fantastic book. So, you know, stick with it as long as it gives you what you want. And I'm going to stick with this because this is giving me what I want. There is not a better book for my money presently on the market from any kind of retail shelf. So there you go. Again, World's Finest. The devil made me do it. That's true. It's a great book, and it's only $3.99. It's $4. It's a steal. Thanks for watching Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and I'll catch you next time.